Hello, this is Dan with Dan Good Repairs. I'm going to show you a quick, simple fix on a PlayStation 3 controller that the buttons are kind of going wonky on you and different things like that. A lot of times if you squeeze it, you can make them work right. But I'm going to show you a quick fix. Takes about 4 or 5 minutes max. We'll take you through it step by step.
Today's repair is a level 1. Little to no repair experience is necessary. Few tools are required. There are very few steps, and it should take you under 10 minutes. The first item you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver. These are available everywhere, in stores or online, and it's going to cost between $1 to $2. Second, you're going to need a roll of electrical tape. This is available everywhere, in stores or online, and it's going to cost between $3 to $4. So this repair should cost you $5 or under.
Here is a DualShock 3 controller. The 6-axis controllers only that don't have the DualShock 3 symbol on it. Those are sometimes a little harder to work on because of the way they break these triggers down. They're really difficult to put back together, so I don't even recommend messing with these. This repair will be for a DualShock 3 controller. So basically you have 5 screws right here. Just take them 5 screws out. To the side. Now under the front between the analog sticks here, there's going to be a tab you push. You push that in and you'll see it separate. See how it separates? There's a little latch there that is what you got to get to come apart. Not a big deal. You don't, just a little bit of pressure there and it'll come apart. Now as you roll this forward to take it apart, what I generally do is I will, when I roll it forward, push these triggers so you don't knock them triggers off. If you do, it's not a big deal putting them in. Alright, and there's what you have is the part off here. Alright, and then the battery here. And what the problem is, in most cases, this isn't for every single situation, but it should cover most cases, is over time the shell becomes loose. And what happens is you can even see Sony puts a little piece of this felt tape on there. And what it does, it puts pressure on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut about 4 strips of electrical tape to apply here. And what it does, when you reassemble it, it'll put pressure back on this and push this board into this a little bit tighter, which will most of the time solve your issues with buttons kind of wanting to do their own thing. Just holds it tighter in. So not much to it. I mean, basically you're going to take 4 little strips is what I do. Now you can use like a felt tape, or it doesn't have to be electrical tape. I mean, it's just something that I had handy. Most of the time you can use whatever's around it. The biggest thing with this, it's so thin, we'll probably cut 4 pieces of it or 5 pieces of it to make it thick enough on here to put the pressure on here. So basically I'm just going to cut them probably, you know, 2 inches long and basically just put them on the back here. And I'm going to cut probably 4 or 5 of them, stack them right on top of each other. And that should do it. I mean, that's all that we need to do on this end here. Now you can see here this little trigger came off. Only goes in one way. You just have to make sure that spring there is on the latch part. There you go. All right, and just reassembly. Once you make sure your triggers are all in the same spot, they have the springs and little coil springs on them just to make sure. And reassembly the same way, basically you put it back together. I just roll these back here, these slots here. You'll see, like on the 6-axis, they have a little piece that comes out of them, and they're really a pain to work with. I never liked doing them. But just slide that back in. Make sure your battery is centered back in the spot where it's supposed to be. They have little snaps on them. Just make sure them triggers come through. Make sure your battery's out of the way. You see a little snap. It just pushes back together. You'll hear all the clicks and pops, and just make sure your triggers work before you reassemble it, and let you know you had them in there right. And just put the screws back in. Now it might be a little bit flexible because I put that tape in there. You see how I can squeeze that? When you put the screws in, it'll pull it tight for you. that's all. That's it. That's all there is to it. 9 out of 10 times that will solve your problem. Let me take my glasses off. Make sure you wear your glasses if you have them. Most of the time that will solve it. If it's still a little bit wonky, maybe put another piece of tape or two. Or like I said, if you have a thicker foam tape, I mean, sometimes they use that medical tape or whatever, like a medical foam tape that they use and stuff like that. You can get away with that. And you might only need one piece of that, but should solve your problem.